everyone. So nice to see you all. So nice to be here for Medicine Buddha. Thank you so much, Karen, for tech hosting, and to all of you for being here, for being the Sangha. Um, Miss Sharon already mentioned it in the chat, I think, but we are um, on the equinox today, the actual day of the equinox, and it is just a little break of a day, just a little dose of balance to remind us of what could be before we dive into, real winter coming soon. And we've kind of had an astrologically potent time, lots of buzzwords, lots of things going on the past couple weeks. We just closed an eclipse season from Lama Rod's birthday to yesterday was like the lunar to solar eclipse, the new moon, a full moon to new moon, and many other things. But yeah, I'm Eli Rin, if you don't know me, before I start just chatting. And welcome to Medicine Buddha Practice. We'll get to everything. We'll get to what we need to when we need to. And I'm here to help facilitate us just gliding through, diving in, whatever we need today, drawing what we need from ourselves, from the Buddhas. I put on my equinox dress for you all today. One of my partners got me for our 5-year anniversary. This dress like last week. Yeah, on the 16th. So I put on my little dress for you guys, even though I was just shortly asleep. Mind you, I was napping before this and then working before that, but I decided to, why not? Let's dive in. Let's try to experience all we can today. But yeah, it's the equinox, and thinking about balance in the time of collapse can be really tricky. What does it even mean as things crumble to find balance? The equinox, the day and the night are the same length today with the same amount of light and day. We are moving from that kind of like hot, fiery energy of summer into the sinking of winter. And, I always celebrate like a week, the 3 days before today and the 3 days after. Equinox is more of a transition. And in a lot of Buddhist traditions, that's like the whole holiday. And for Japanese Buddhism, it's called Ohiga, crossing to the other shore. And so I was raised in Japanese Buddhism, and I'm like thinking about all the stories I've been told over my life and just really holding that like the spring equinox kind of feels like being born for the first time, and the equinox to me feels like being born for the last time. Like they're both rebirth, but like this one feels like I've been here before. Like if I so choose to tap in, I can really move into like a shedding process. I know what I don't need, let me put that down. I know what does not serve me, let me put that down. And let me just fortify and recognize what strength I have, what I have like built over the year, what has come on from that season of birth and then that summer of expansion. It's an invitation for me into a deep pause before going forward again. And every breath is, but what's the point of talking about any of this if not to really dive into it, right? And so as we dive into this moment of like brief balance, a little bit of slowness before shifting, I think it's like an invitation into how can I meet the me being born right now as I am born and let the me that is died off of me, that is not me anymore, die, transform, you know? How can I take the grief that has been stuck in my belly or chest or in my blood that has felt clogged in me? And how can I figure out what sort of energy I need to bring in, what I need to let go of in order to let that flow again, to let new grief be born, even. Not to be in absence of anything, but to let the freshness of my grief, my pain, my joy, my community really come to me whole right now. And so there's one story that's been kind of remixed a bunch, that I very much enjoy that I'll tell before we really get into practice here. That is the Great Fire, Great River of Fire and Water is like one general name of it. It's like a Shin Buddhist story, but there's also a Zen Buddhist version and then an XYZ Buddhist version. So if you hear something familiar and it's a little different, don't get mad. We changed them because they're alive. But this story I really like and it's simple, and I've been told, I don't know, for 25 years over and over again of there's a person, kind of at a bazaar in the desert, and they're looking at all these wares. They're just minding their own business, shopping, and they look behind them and they realize all the other customers have kind of disappeared, and it's just them and all this stuff. And then rumbling in the background, big like dust cloud is starting to form. And so they're just sitting there kind of being like, well, I was shopping, but I don't know. Everybody disappeared, and now there's this big rumbling dust cloud that kind of sounds like a stampede. I'm gonna make my way. So they leave the bazaar and they start walking. And they hear the rumbling getting louder, can't see anything, just dust picking up. And so they start, jogging a little bit, and then they start just picking up the pace, sweating a little, and they hear the rumbling. Then it gets closer and closer. They start to see who's behind them. This big, angry mob. It's a horde of beasts and people and beings he's never seen before and demons. And they all look angry. And he can tell they want to kill him. That's what he feels. So he's running. And they are snarling and, really fierce looking from afar. And as they get closer, their snarling stops, but they're still scary. But their voices turn sweet and they say, oh, we're not going to hurt you. Don't worry. But they still, their energy and their aura is still angry, angry, angry. And they say, we won't kill you. Just stop. Just stop. And he's like, no, I know I cannot stop for this, like, big horde behind me. It's bad news. I can tell. I feel it. So he keeps running, keeps running. He runs up a mountain. And as he's running up, he passes over the top, and there's just a minute where he's hidden from them, right? They're on the ascent still, and he's on the descent. And he sees a little flower right by the side of the road that just pops up to him. This whole time he's been running, there's been nothing to really duck under, but he sees this flower by this rocky mountain, and he just stops completely, kneels next to the flower, and takes it in all the way. And the horde runs straight by him. Okay, so one version of the story ends there. Another version of the story, we keep going. So the horde passes him. He goes on about his day. He goes, woof, okay. He doesn't think about it too much. He goes, I didn't really learn anything from that, but I'm safe. Whatever. I ran, I trusted my instincts. Then I stopped and I saw this flower and it consumed me. And so there's obviously parables there about attention, but I'd like to go a little bit deeper. And so he wakes up the next day and he's walking. They find him again. They start chasing him. He runs, he runs, he runs. Eventually, he makes it to the edge of this great body of water. It's got a narrow white path. And then on one side, these giant, like lapping waves of fire are spouting, almost like the bottom of a volcano splashing, really big, tumultuous. On the other side, like a hurricane, violent waves are crashing up and down, up and down. So he gets to the edge of this, and behind him, there is the horde waiting. They've cornered him. They can't all make it across this path, so they're saying, no, no, don't go back, don't go over, just come back, come back. And he hears from like the eastern shore, far down that white path, just a kind of voice or something tells him, trust your feet, go. And so he crosses the river. And then this version of the story ends there. We don't get to know if he lived or not or what happens. But it's got me really thinking this year, in this time, that we are truly facing great rivers of fire and water, right? Whether it's diving into, American politics, the left and the right, whether it is diving into global politics, capitalism as a large, falling, imperialism reaping its like death sprawls on us. All of these things can feel insurmountable. And at the face of like just looking at it quickly, it feels unsolvable. But there is a voice to listen to. That medicine Buddha, this practice feels like the cultivation of to me. That ancestral voice of knowing that even though you don't know what's on the other side of this path, right? There could just be more monsters over there. But that you are one deserving of choosing to live, that in itself, choosing to go on that path rather than to just let the horde take you, rather than uncertain whatever on the other side, that choice to live is a very important choice that we have to make again and again and again. And to really evaluate, as we have this pause, how am I living? Is it fueling me? Do I need more rest? Do I need different rest? Do I need community? Am I really seeing clearly my life? And then also this invitation into that, like, the path kind of represents sometimes, and it can represent whatever you want, but it can represent the ancestors and like tuning into the fact that you have and will get free again and again and again. Like you, as in all of us, as in the big you. There is not only a 1,000 year, 2,000 year, 450-year arc of humanity. It's so much longer. And that's just these bodies, not to mention just the expressions of the universe itself. And so, all of that talking and sharing to say, today on this equinox, on this Monday, or not Monday, wherever you are, if you're not in the same time zone or hemisphere as me, how can I already be choosing to live? How can I choose to live with each me being born and return to that choice? The choice for life, as in, I choose to like really get free, to really know what it is that I need to meet myself all the way. And to meet myself all the way is to meet all of you all the way, right? To really find my voice as the wind, my breath as a river, like everything to dissolve back together. And so lately, the seven homecomings from Lama Rod, I've been working with for a lot of years, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. And I'm gonna put in the chat. It's kind of turned into these four for me lately. The seven homecomings are a practice Lama Rod has, which you can look up later, and are lovely for anything really. And I took the certification course, was a peer mentor, and I've sat with them for a while. And they've kind of turned into a four-part path of arrive, attune, expand, dissolve. I've been really just playing with that lately. Not as something to make a school out of or build, but just as a framework to play in. And arriving, I share some of myself. I show where I'm, you know, at, and I hope to bring us all into this kind of shared practice field as we arrive. We'll ground just a little bit more, and then we'll move into attuning to that voice from that eastern shore. We'll open up with our invocation mantra in a little bit, and that will be us like really just sinking in, attuning to that ancestral voice, attuning to the medicine Buddha. Um, in that story, technically, the Buddha that's calling is Amida Buddha, but the call of any Buddha is the call of every Buddha in my head. So I do not care if you switch them around, and I don't think they would care either. So we'll use medicine Buddha today in our mind, but you can, use that visualization if you want to. And then we'll expand with our prayers, bring that out into our liberation field, and we'll dissolve it all with a little bit of visualization at the end and our, you know, collective reflection and grounding. So take a moment to just notice where you are, arrive with your body and clear away anything you don't need, get anything you do need. Second, got the air turned on 1 second. There we go. Take a few breaths in and out. Notice the weight of your clothes against you, temperature of the air around you. Notice the cushion, the ground, the earth rising up to hold you beneath you, giving you a gentle place to rest, to practice, to move. Everything we do today is opt in, opt out. Take a break, guide yourself. The act of choosing starts now. Choose each and every breath. You might allow any tension to release from the jaw, from the space between the brows, relaxing the face, even relaxing the eyes and the head, the tongue and the mouth. Not expecting anything lasting, but just arriving, checking in with the neck and shoulders. You might reach out or up for a stretch. You might pull a blanket closer to you or sink into some stillness. Moving your awareness into the chest and belly, the torso. We check in with the spine. I invite you, even if it's really small, micro movements, just invite a little bit of a wiggle. Checking in with the spine from the top of your neck all the way down into the base of your pelvis, your hips, releasing any tension that might be available to release in the low back. We let the legs, thighs relax, grow heavy. Noticing any sensations in the knee, any of the joints, noting that pain can be an indicator of where we direct our care, rather than an opportunity to judge or tell a story. Just an invitation into listening. And in our full arrival, the whole universe arrives with us. We will move into our opening mantra of Om Menla Sangye Kino Soha, which will also be in the chat. Medicine Buddha, I pray that you know and look upon me. Kino, Lama Rod says, is always the word that's like that you know me, but you can pray for whatever you need. No? Pray that you hold me, see me, listen to me, love me, you know me, you know. Ask for what you need. We'll start with one long Om and do this mantra 3 times, and then end with one long Om. And really, the invitation for me to you guys is to let the Buddhas arrive. Feel the whoever, ancestors, medicine Buddha, your own healing spirit, call that into this space. Call your well and benevolent ancestors into this space and allow them to support our practice, to feed it, to nourish it. So one long Om, breathing in. Om. Om Minla Sangye Ki no Soha. Om Minla Sangye Ki no Soha. Om Mela Sangye Kino Soha. Om. With our invitation, Medicine Buddha starts to arrive. I call, we have a Medicine Buddha over here and his deep blue candle light. Then also over here, all the ancestors to complete our arrival. I open up Ma Harriet's waters. These are waters and prayer shells from many ceremonies over the past summer and waters from the marshes that Harriet Tubman was born in and liberated herself from. We let the ancestors arrive with us. And as the next main mantra is in the chat there, Tayata Bekense, Maha Bekense, Ratsa Samungate Sowa. And we'll move into that in a bit, and then the prayer requests, which a reminder to fill out if you haven't yet. Before we move into this one, I want to invite us into just a little attunement with our own revolutionary light, our own liberatory frequency. So as we just take a few breaths in and out, and as you rest in your space, see if you can take a moment to notice your heartbeat, kind of rhythm of your own body. You might hear the recording pause and stop for a second. I'm just gonna see if I can change my sound settings because it's not letting me play the bells. And if not, we'll just go no bells. But I'm gonna one loud sound for a second. Okay, no bells today, no worries. Okay, so as we breathe in and out, you might take a chance to imagine yourself sitting at the edge of a big wide river. We're at a riverbank. The river's easy and soft. No more fire, no more tumult. It's wide and deep. Perhaps you feel the wet dirt or earth underneath your feet, the breeze gently rolling over your skin. Perhaps you hear the trees, the leaves dancing in the breeze, the gentle creak of trunks bending. You might imagine the sun high in the sky, bright, shining. Natural phenomena to me are an infinite playground. And so as we bask in this, like, closing eclipse energy, we can play with that however we'd like. And so we'll run the eclipse back for an encore today with the Medicine Buddha. Sit there at your river, imagine just looking up at the sky, taking in the warmth, feeling the warmth really, touching your skin, perhaps a little bead of sweat rolling down your back. And our breaths just get a little bit deeper. We breathe in, pause at the top, relaxing our body around this full feeling. We breathe out, emptying completely, pausing again, relaxing around that depletion. Again. As I start to breathe deeper and deeper, you can feel from this water almost like you're the tide of the moon. You're pulling out. This deep blue incense smoke starts to rise up from the water on every inhale and on your exhale. Flows in through your body, out of your nostrils, and like big steamy breath starts to float up to the sky. We breathe in, draw in this deep blue fragrance. Alive, it moves through your body. We breathe out. In offering, this smoke curls and floats up and up and up. We keep breathing until it reaches the sun. You see, like the aurora borealis on Miss Sharon's screen. You see that blue reach all the way up into the sky till it starts to take over the sun like an eclipse. Look up into the sky, breathing in with the water, out into the sun until it turns a deep blue, casting a blue shadow for everything around you. The medicine Buddha arrives in this breath with each and every Buddha, with each of our well ancestors. We invite this mantra as an offering full of our intent. We imagine it pouring out of us like this incense, and it doesn't matter what you see or if your visualization is exact, but just the feeling, that yearning, that your grief over the love you know you deserve, that your joy over the liberation you know is possible, that you could pull it like from quicksand and alchemize it, make it into this beautiful fragrance and offer it into the sun so that it shines in each of the 10 directions. This is how powerful simply arriving and attuning with yourself can be. How remembering can be. These are all the aids we have. I do not just have my hands and feet, I have the earth, the land, the ancestors, the water, the Buddhas. I have the frequency and hum of my heartbeat and liberation behind me. And so we chant with that urgency, with that need for rest, that all of it. That's why I played the last song today in the intro was just called Something's Going On. And the words, the whole song is just something's going on. Something's happening now. Over and over. Because that is what's right now. I can't explain any deeper than that. Right now, something's going on. And it is our choice to dive in. How do we be in what's happening? So we'll move through our mantra a few times. The drum won't show up, so we're gonna do a little a cappella version. Then I'll read the prayer requests, and then perhaps we'll end the recording after the prayer requests, and we'll have just for us a drum version, so we get a bells. So the people later get some, and we get some. But for now, take a deep breath in and out. Check on yourself. Take a sip of water if you need. 하야타 umbegnze begnze mahabegnze raza samgate soha 다이아타 umbegnze 백은세 마하백은세 라자삼가테소하 다이아타 umbegnze 백은세 마하백은세 Raza samgate soha Tayata umbegnze begnze mahabegnze Raza samgate soha Tayata umbegnze begnze mahabegnze Raza samgate soha Tayata umbegnze begnze mahabegnze Raza samgate soha 다이아타 umbegnze begnze mahabegnze 라자 삼가테 소하 다이아타 umbegnze begnze 마하베근세 라자삼가테소하 다이아타 움베근세 베근세 마하베근세 라자 삼가테소 Take a moment just to feel. If you've sat with me, you've heard before, our sound waves are physical things, literal physical things, filling up and transforming the space. Bask in that. And I will turn my attention to the prayer dog. You will expand out and offer to all those in need that your prayers be heard. And then I'm going to, after these prayers, just a heads up for Karen. I'm going to make the call to end the recording in the name of right now. And then we're going to move into our second round of the mantra. Pulling up the prayers. Prayers of gratitude for this Sangha. Prayers of gratitude for Medicine Buddha and my guides. Deepest bows to you all. Prayers for my full emergence and independence as soon as possible. Prayers for all of us to walk in alignment with our heart path, guided by the ancestors, to bring healing to this plane. Prayers that I can get through this depression, heaviness, and isolation that comes up. Prayers for those grieving the transition of a loved one. Prayers for collective healing, for clarity, for life-giving communicating. Prayers for myself to have compassion for the family vlogger trying to dox me and for my focus to be on giving and sending metta. Prayers for liberation from ghosts of the past. Prayers for awakening. Prayers for the spiritual, emotional, and physical health of my family. Prayers and I. Prayers of gratitude for the paradise in which I live, for abundant flora and fauna, for cool autumn weather, for abundant nourishment, physical and spiritual and social. Prayers of gratitude for this Sangha, for my mother as she navigates illness. Prayers for N and R to be well and free. Prayers for Lama Rod and the practice communities in Europe. Prayers for the community here this evening. Prayers that I find new balance with the new season as I work towards balance for work and work. Prayers for all beings, that all beings get free right now. Prayers for the unhoused, may they feel the love we send. Prayers for healing of physical pain within. Prayers for the resistance part of myself, so that I release, so that I can speak and act from the heart to support others suffering. Prayers for M and R, may they experience healing and freedom. Prayers for my mama, sister, and her wife, my three nibblings as they navigate through healing trauma. Prayers for myself to stand in my power and to know my worthiness and help me to open my heart to love and prosperity. Prayers for my dog, Canelo, who has a knee injury and is in pain. Prayers for myself so I may quickly recover from my concussion, and prayers so that I may have the courage to let go of that which no longer serves me and allow in that which is for my highest good and liberation. Prayers that every being has the love they need and more than enough to spare. Prayers for Barbara, who is currently doing treatment to fight cancer. Prayers for all those who feel disconnected and who are currently struggling mentally, financially, and physically in this world. May I find light to support me when I feel I want to give up. Prayers for my aunt as she recovers from knee surgery. Prayers for my parents as they learn to live independently and unwind from the troublesome patterns they have been living in for so long. Help me awaken my sense and make sense of the chaos and give me a calm confidence to help heal and continue to awaken. Prayers for Denise, who started receiving hospice services this week. May she know how much she is loved. Prayers for Joe, who had a complicated relationship with his parent who just died. Prayers for Douglas, who is taking care of his mother while she recovers from an accident. May he find moments of ease between all the things life keeps throwing at him that he finds frequently unpleasant. Prayers for E, who is preparing for surgery and continuing cancer treatment. May she fully recover from cancer and treatment and have her health be restored. Prayers for protection, healing, and flourishing of all the people targeted by ICE, all HBCU communities, and all people targeted by fascism. Medicine Buddha, please protect me through my struggles and suffering. Please heal and open my path. Medicine Buddha, please heal Becca and help her regain her vitality. Medicine Buddha, please help Jamie, who is healing from top surgery. Medicine Buddha, please help heal the hatred in the hearts and ignorance in the minds of fascist people so they can stop this nonsense. Medicine Buddha, please provide our precious teachers, Eli, Lama Rod, Rachel Wooten, and others with a long life and auspicious conditions. Please help our Sangha with auspicious conditions, health, abundance, love, wisdom, and luck. Prayers that I find the right livelihood that feels aligned with my purpose and provides economic stability swiftly without delay. Prayers of gratitude for the many teachings depression has offered me, and may I become the medicine that this depression calls for. May I get myself and others free as quickly as possible. Prayers for my sweetie Luke, the dog next door, who passed away last Tuesday from heartworm disease. He's pain-free now, running and eating all the goodies. I know he will be reunited in the future. Thank you, my Sangha, for your prayers for Luke over these weeks. I can feel your healing energy. Prayers of great gratitude to you all. Blessings, Ashe. Medicine Buddha, please heal and protect the oceans and life within that is under assault. Prayers for my trans family members and all people who need care, protection, and love right now. Prayers that I learn how to live fully with love in spite of a rare diagnosis that may or may not progress. Prayers for my headaches, my heart sadness, and all folks who feel scared and unsafe. Prayers for healing for Kelly. Prayers to all beings who are on a healing journey. Prayers to those suffering with substance use or disorder. Prayers for those speaking truth in a time of terror. Prayers for those who have not yet found the courage or voice to feel safe to do so. Prayers that I stay balanced, to continue my trust in my new journey, new life, newness coming in. May I be able to let go and shed my old ways and settle into the new. Prayers for Patricia Barry, who just left her body. Prayers for her daughter Heather Barry, who mourns her deeply. Prayers for DJ in his solo return. May he be brave, find himself, and awaken to the light of his true nature. Prayers for my continued healing. I fell on my cervical spine catching a baby last week and should have let the baby bounce. They would have been far better off than me, I think. But today, in the past few days, I'm moving again and able to move. Prayers that I continue to regain mobility and to work with the existing chronic pain that I have in order to find some balance and ease within my body's system. Prayers for my beloveds, for Salama and his family in the Hazza, that they may survive one more night, one more day, each day at a time, that we may continue to send sustenance to them. May these prayers and all prayers in your heart that don't have words yet, in your tears or in your joy, be heard by the Medicine Buddha. May we send these all out. Something I've been since I started doing working with Harriet Tubman much more deeply about 5 years ago, something she always asked me is, do you believe in your prayers? Do you believe what you say when you say it? May all beings get free. Do you think it can come true? And I'd say these days, most days I do, but some days I still catch myself really not believing it. And it's a really good invitation to even just trying, planning that aspiration to may I only pray for things that I believe can happen. Not in the fact that may I restrict my prayers, but may I realize that anything can happen, that these prayers will come true, that prayers left to die, yes, wither and turn into dreams unexplored. But prayers and dreams realized, put in our body, in our blood, in our feet, in our loving, that is communal building. That's restarting. That is rebirth. That is coming back to, okay, let's feel the truth instead of being scared of the amounts of untruth or detachment or disillusionment around me? How can I be brave enough to face the grief that comes with? Because I think that's what stops us a lot of the time. At least me, I know. It stops me sometimes in my life. The grief of knowing what I deserve, of accepting that and acting like it. Not just knowing it, but acting like it. Saying, okay, so no, so I'm free. What now? How do I move in alignment with that? So I want to be free. What now? So I'm in love with all of my friends. What now? How do we do something with that? So I have all this pain and clarity about what I don't deserve. What now? What does that allow to be born and what does that allow to die? That is what this day is asking of us. How do I midwife my own expression so that I am not, even the me 2 minutes ago is not binding me, you know? The joy that I was feeling 2 minutes ago is not in conflict with the tears that are coming to my eyes, thinking of the pain accumulated in just this space. And the holding of all of that is what this practice, what believing in my prayers brings to me, is it gives me a bigger and bigger container, right? No self isn't like, I don't exist. It's I exist and this. I am me and that. Okay, I found my voice filling up the room. Now, how do I fill up this land? How do I fill up the ocean? How do I fill up the universe? That expansion process is so important. It's the part that takes your dreams and makes them real. And so I think it's our duty as dreamers, for me, as like a Black person on this land who has, I think about Amar and Tab, my first enslaved ancestors on Turtle Island, arriving at the River York in the 1700s, a mother and daughter, Sininke from West Africa, the old kingdom of Congo and Ghana. And whatever they saw as their fire, rivers of fire and water in their white path, the fruit of that is my breath. And choosing to keep breathing with that expansion is the continued fruit of, the abolitionist path, the path of no looking back, of no looking away, of diving directly in, the tantric path of eat it, right? Yesterday we did a new moon and eclipse service where we ate the moon. We ate the sun. We ate the moon on the full moon. We ate the sun yesterday. Like, take that big fire and eat it and let it transform you and pass it. Do not let it consume, but let it move through. So I'm gonna turn off the recording in hopes that we can play a little music together.